All right. So what was it? It was like 1900 owed, something like that. 400 the other. It was 400. All right. Don't just get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh my God. Welcome, Durs. How is it going? So, we would have been on much earlier. We would have. If it were not for the fact that we had set up an H&R Block meeting like a week ago. Okay. And the person that we went and saw was very nice. We all had a hell of a laugh.
I recognized her, I swear.
No, honey, she was the last one we went to.
I know.
We owe the Fed man $1,500, and we owe state about $400, which is fantastic. You know, it's not like they haven't been taking money out all fucking year. It's always over the barrel. I guess this year there was at least a little spit involved when it came to what the government's about to do to us. A little bit of the lubrication for the situation. All right. But the fact still remains that we owe damn near $2,000 for the overall taxes that we've got to pay. Welcome to being an American, where I can just about guarantee you that the majority of those taxes that they're going to be taking from you are not going to be going to things that are going to make everyone's lives easier. As a matter of fact, at least a good chunk, or at least what we common folk would consider to be a good chunk, is going to be going overseas, unless somebody actually puts a stop to it. How's it going, Tanner? We went and filed our taxes today.
Hey, at least we didn't get to the last minute.
Yeah, this is true. Am I getting all messages? All right, that's good. Did I just like my own shit? Is that what happens when you tap the screen? Okay, looks like I can't like my own shit. That's good. It actually makes me happy. So yeah. They took out a ton of money and they still want more. They ought to just take it out of the politicians' paychecks if they want it that bad. Because the rest of us are already struggling. All right. Of course they don't care. It's the government. Believing, and remember this quote, believing that the government cares about you and your struggles is like believing the stripper actually loves you, folks.
I love it.
It is one of my least favorite times of year. The weather has been phenomenal. Tomorrow it's going to be so warm that I will have the ability to take my ball pythons out for a stroll.
Can you conceal 10 of the dogs at the same time?
I don't know. But we're going to try at least with Duchess. Because Duchess has a good demeanor. And possibly Wolf. Wolf has a good demeanor as well. Now, of course, we've got this critter right here. Hey, Toast. How is it going? This right here is a female Theraphosa, or more commonly referred to as a Goliath. Thank you, Toast. Thank you. A Goliath pink leg tarantula. However, the pink leg is kind of no longer pink. They usually have that, but there's some purple. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is gorgeous. Now, it is not feeding day. Are we going to go and take the trip out there? Because I was planning on getting crickets.
Don't have the money.
All right. So we're going to have to try to feed her roaches, of which she had some. I don't know where the fuck they went off to. She might have eaten them. Well, nope, they're right there. Don't attack me. He might not be hungry, or she might not be hungry. All right. So let's get this over. All right. So what we do is we spritz the cage. Looks like our water dish is still good. When it comes to caring for these kind of critters, you want to do your due diligence. Lots of research. Make sure that the environment that you are crafting for the animal is relatively the same as what they would be dealing with out in the wild. Most tarantula species do appreciate having a den to go into when they're scared. She is no exception. Here. They are primarily insectivores, gorging themselves on things like crickets and cockroaches of some type. However, they will go and eat vertebrate creatures like your snakes, mice. Some tarantulas have actually been caught carrying off weak and relatively helpless medium-sized, or what I would construe as medium-sized animals like possums. So that was a wild video that I saw, and what was even crazier about it was, hey, you're not going to be playing in here. The tarantula in question actually dragged the possum up a tree, which it was either a Theraphosa burgundy or a Theraphosa blondie, but just like this critter right here, they are notorious for living underground or on the ground, not necessarily up in the trees. So the fact that they caught that behavior on camera is kind of wild. Oh. Bring this over here. Oliver, none of this deals with you. None of this. Oh, I should probably put more water in the dish. None of this has anything to do with your kid. You don't need to stand over here wagging your tail, convincing the other doggos to come and mess with this area. Hey, Gio. How's it going? I'm just going to lift that a little bit. Oh, gosh. There we go. That is awesome. Here we are. Now, let's bring these critters down. And Gio, we went and paid our taxes. Well, not paid. We filed our taxes. Figured out that we owe damn near $2,000. So that was great. You just pre-ordered the Switch too? Oh, that shit's expensive. Now these are Monocentropas balfouri tarantulas. Look at him. I'm surprised he's still kicking it with us. That right there is the female. Off in the background. They still have plenty of water. They still have food roaming their cage. Now these are an arid species from Yemen. They typically do not need to have much moisture in their cage. That's why we primarily give them a water dish, and that's it. If they need a drink, they can go and get it. A lot of people try to state that these tarantulas get their hydration from a food source. That can be a costly mistake. We have caught these guys drinking on multiple occasions. It's probably why the male has lasted so long. Now, he's a little bit haggard. He is. But he is also about a year, possibly even 2 years, past what is deemed to be their typical expiration date, as you might call it. And you can see the very dark coloration of the male right there, the narrower carapace. And the lighter coloration of the female, who is just chilling. You know, I could be wrong, but it looks like there is some raised dirt by that female. And didn't we say that her abdomen looked like it might have gotten smaller? So we'll keep an eye on that. It would be interesting to see if maybe we get some babies this year. And if that's the case, that would be amazing. These guys are pretty mellow. I've only seen them throw up a threat pose once, and that was when I caught the male off guard, trying to go and check on the female who had gone MIA in the cage. She was in the cage, but she was hiding. And he threw up a threat pose, and he's just like, "What, you want some? You want some? I'll give you some." I may be old, and I may be spindly, but I still got 2 fangs. I'll give you the business. A lot of the spiders have been a little bit more active than usual today. I'm hoping that our green bottle blue will start coming out now that she has finished molting. Beautiful girl. I need to work on pinning her molt up so that we can get a better look at it. Pretty sure we already confirmed she's a female, but just in case, if she's a male, she is a big male. If you owe that much in taxes, then you should probably check your W-2s and other paperwork. You might not be paying enough through the year. Our tax professional actually went and looked at it and said, we are paying enough. It's just that the federal government, well, we are paying enough. It's just that my wife's medical paperwork kind of fucked us over, which really shouldn't be a thing in the United States, considering the costs of healthcare are already fucking ridiculous. Thank you so very much to the insurance companies out there. If you are not on a state-provided insurance company, then you might just get boned. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, ideally. But this is yet another year where they're coming after us again. And I need to, next Friday, call up the IRS office out in Portland and start inquiring about how much we owe due to the fact that we have been dealing with the federal government withdrawing funds when the funds that they were after should have already been paid off. So they have been doing that this entire time. They've been collecting about $56 a month for the last 12 months, or for the last month, or so that we've owed. We only owed, what was it, like $800 with them or something like that? It was 3 something. And they have been taking out $56 monthly for the last 58 bucks? $58 monthly for the last 12 months. So, I know we done already paid it off, but they are still taking stuff out. Yeah, I'm fucking so tired of the American system. I want them to abolish the IRS like they said they were going to try to do. Because the Fed boys have already been proven to be nothing but a bunch of corrupt criminals due to the fact that the federal income tax was deemed unconstitutional back in the 1900s. I think it was like 1902 that the federal government was told that they can't take out a federal income tax, and then they decided to do it anyway. So that whole branch of the government that has been taking our money this entire time is corrupt and should be considered null and void. But no, now we got to go and deal with this because of government corruption. The Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional back in the day. For fuck's sake, folks, what are we doing? What are they doing? What are we allowing them to do as a society?
They want, unfortunately.
It should piss everybody off. It really should, especially those that actually have to pay into taxes. But no, there are a million other things people would rather be focused on. Now, the next animal we are going to look at before I go on a long-winded rant that might actually get somebody at my door. Let's go and check and see if there's any change inside the Vietnamese centipede cage. By the way, that was hilarious. Today I had to go and take a bunch of photos for State Farm because the insurance company wanted us to do a what is that called? What did they call it? It is they wanted me to answer questions, and they wanted me to send them pictures of like the front of the house and the side of the house and the backyard, and they kind of. In any case, it got to the non-domesticated pets. You see, they don't care to see the domesticated pets like the cats or the dogs, but they want pictures specifically of the non-domesticated pets. And oh boy, do we have non-domesticated pets. Non-domesticated pets include, but are not limited to, centipedes, scorpions, tarantulas, ball pythons, just basically everything that we own that is not a dog at the point in time. So they got 12 pictures sent to them of ball pythons, centipedes, scorpions, tarantulas. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot the centipede. My bad. Whoops. Maybe I'll go back and send it to them. I don't know. It's not like it's a very active pet to begin with. It's what we would call a homebody of the pet world. It does not really come out of its domicile unless it's out hunting, in which case it'll be all over its domicile. Yeah, basically, I went from cage to cage, and I was like, all right, I'm going to turn the flash on. And I'm going to make sure that I angle this right. I want to get your picture looking fine. And I did. Especially when it comes to Belle. Belle is perfect for that photo op. She came out pristine. Like cover of a book photo quality. Okay? I was just like, damn. Damn, girl. That was good. Now, we are looking around. That tunnel's been used very recently. Look at how fresh that thing's been dug. You can see all the way down that shit. So what we have in this cage is a Vietnamese centipede. Vietnamese centipedes are very much tropical, very much terrestrial. And if you get bit, very much trouble. Because their venom is considered to be a little bit more toxic than a lot of the other animals that we own. So the only problem is this beautiful animal that I love so much hardly ever comes out for a photo op. It is called a pet hole. It lives in a hole and it is a pet. Or it is a pet that is an asshole. You can pick and choose. There we go. Now we go and keep its humidity pretty high because they tend to lose a lot of their fluids out of the skin that is between their plating, the top and the bottom portion of their body. That is why you got to keep their cage
Did you literally stick your nose in the water, dude?
moist.
Her nose is
Toxic is it passive aggressive? No, it is passive. God, that is well worded. It is passive defensive. These animals don't typically go out of their way to bite you. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people online that tend to show off the fact that they're willing to go and hold their centipedes, which means that a lot of the centipedes that they're holding typically only lash out when they are feeling defensive, when they are feeling threatened. That's one of the reasons why they are relatively good to keep, is because if you don't go and fuck with them too much, if you don't go and try to grab them, pick them up, they're not going to turn around and try to make you a hashtag. I give your identity, your, what is that called? Pronouns, was, were. All right? Now, that being said, centipede venom, generally speaking, is not enough to actually kill a person outright unless you have some sort of a reaction to it. You're just gonna wish you were dead. So, oh my God, today at the H&R Block office, we had been filling out paperwork, and the H&R agent goes, okay, what was it? Okay, this is going to be another paper.
This is going to be the next paper we have to sign.
This is going to be the next paper that we have to sign. And my wife leaned over and she squiggled the line right on the very top of the paper.
Right next to my name.
And the H&R Block agent's like, not there! Not there! Sorry, you just said this is the next paper you have to sign and then tapped on the paper. I just kind of assumed that that's where I needed to put my signature. And I was just like, oh my fucking God. It turned into a comedy skit like that. It was so fast and so stupid. And before that even happened, I got bored because I had left my phone. Have a Geo doing. I got bored because I left my phone at home. So I went and grabbed one of these pens. And one of the things that I do when I am bored and don't have my phone is I take pens apart that are nearby to see what kind of ink they're using, how much ink they give you, so that I can then be like, oh, that's great, or oh, that sucks, how cheap is that shit? You know, just small banter stuff. Well, I take the pen apart, and of course, I can't actually see the ink because the casing around the ink is not transparent. However, when I go to put everything back together, I cannot get it to tighten all the way. And I'm fiddling with it. I finally go and I aim it at myself like this, and I push the bottom too hard, and the tip part shoots me in the face. I got shot in the face with the tip at the H&R Block. Yeah, that is exactly how that shit went down. The goofiest shit I've ever been through. Whew. So, that was how the day went. We owe almost $2,000 in taxes. It's going to be fun hearing back from the Fed boys. We've got to figure out if any of the money that they have been over collecting is going to the situation or whether they are just going to fuck us over entirely, which would not surprise me because the federal government is in fact the federal government. They don't give two fucks about any of us. The other three will still be standing in the mark, facing another challenge. All right. Now, we have gotten the Theraphosa, the Monosyntropus balfouri, the Vietnamese centipede. We need to do Little Bee. Little bitch needs to have her cage dealt with. Yeah, I could have shot my eye out there. Imagine going to the doctor for that. Shot my eye out with just the tip, Doc. Just the tip. At which a blood drawn would have followed because of a just the tip reference.
It gets harder and harder as we get closer to the end of the day. Microdream is to go to culinary school. And
how long do you think it'll be before they get back to us? The Fed boys?
This first challenge is a quick test
Alright.
of your beat skills.
Now, we have... Hey, Jeff. How's it going? Oh, wait. I think you already answered that question. Hi. Oh, no, you haven't. Okay. If you get these right, it could land you. We are holding off for about a week from doing any of the lifting. Why did you retract that? Because of the fact that my wrist and that nonsense is going on. We did get some gaming in today. I won one. This is the first time I have won a boxing match via the points given, as opposed to either knocking somebody out repeatedly and winning that way. You want to see the mochi? You can see the mochi. Just let me get through the tarantulas first, and that way I can move their cages around, because some of those cages are actually holding down his lid, which works. It just sounds wildly irresponsible, okay? Now, this beautiful baby girl is our Lasiodora parahibana. She has got an abnormally large abdomen because she has been eating like an absolute unit over these last few weekends. So all of that energy is going into growth, and I'm hoping that within the next month. All right, I'm pretty sure he'll answer it, but I cannot speak for Geo. She is a tropical terrestrial tarantula, of course, typically found in northern Brazil. When they're older, they make really good pets. When they're younger, they're assholes. She's the only tarantula that lets me pet her. And normally, tarantulas are not keen on letting people do that. Most of the time, tarantulas get super stressed out when animals directly interact with their abdomens, because the abdomen hairs that they have work as a warning response. I wouldn't call it an early warning response, because a critter has to be relatively close for them to realize it's there, but it is a warning. Oh my God, Wolf's playing.
This challenge is the best chance to be safe. So I'm moving as fast as I've ever moved in this competition, with precision, with speed. I want to make sure that I squeeze the bones out of
Oh my God.
minutes to secure a spot in the top four.
10 minutes remaining.
All right. I think that's going to be the best view we could get without getting in the middle of all that.
I was trying to get Oliver.
Ollie, do you want attention?
That was a stupid question.
All right. Well, after we're done taking care of this little princess, we will go and give him attention. When it comes to care, the Lasiodora parahibana is probably one of the easiest species you can take care of, especially if all of their demeanor seems to be pretty chill once they mature out. I don't speak for all owners, especially since this is a rescue and she was completely unresponsive when we first got her. She could have some sort of neurological damage due to the treatment that occurred when she was younger. I don't know how a tarantula's brain necessarily works. I think scientists are still trying to figure that out. They say that tarantulas can dream, so that is something. I think that if tarantulas can dream, tarantulas can think. And if tarantulas can think, well, that opens up the possibilities for what might be to come. No, this tarantula is actually one that we bought outside of an expo in Southern Oregon. The problem was that the individual who was selling her kept her away from any heat source, really, in the car, which had some fairly serious side effects with this tarantula, because they drove for well over an hour and the temperatures in the back of the vehicle must have gotten down toward 50 degrees. So prolonged periods of time, 50 degrees, with a tropical animal that does not have any means to control its body heat, tends to have some nasty side effects. Most times, in most cases, these animals will die because of that nonsense. Now, we did not give up on her. I can't remember if it was the fact that her legs didn't curl up underneath her. Pretty sure that was it, but we still dropped like $30-some. We still brought her home. I hand watered her with some paper towels and a fork for 2 weeks. We kept her in a warm environment. And she started to show signs of life. She soon bounced back, started eating things like chicken hearts when it came time for us to feed them and we didn't have much. She grew out of all of the old cages that she was in, and now she is thick again. And hopefully she is going to give us another molt. But yeah, she is a survivor. God, how is she climbing around with that dump truck on her back door? Look at that. Yeah, PTSD spider. Isn't that crazy? Especially if what scientists say, or what I fucking read at one point, God knows, is true, and they do have the ability to dream. If they dream, can they think? And if they think, is this animal still traumatized by the shit it endured at its younger years? In its younger years. Don't take the ball away from Wolf. Oh,
For a little bit.
it doesn't matter. He's just getting back to being a pup dog. So Oliver seals it? Oh, God. That is a spider booty. Now, I know, technically speaking, it's a tarantula, not a true spider. But we call them spooters, spiders. Arachnobabies is one that I hope catches on. Although I guess that'll probably be more so for the itty-bitty baby tarantulas. Gio, don't apologize. You're halfway around the world and it's like 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm not going to be like, oh gosh darn it, sir. How dare you be tired? No. Respect to you and what you do to keep my live viewed. Okay. Honestly, I am not going to bitch and moan. You're over in the UK, okay? You gotta respect that. That is true dedication. Now let's get her put back. We'll go and look at Charlotte, who is out of her den.
Better get that off of the bed.
Freaking, yeah. Have you been able to bounce back entirely from that whole ordeal that you had with the kids with the ROTC? Have you been able to actually legitimately recuperate? And I don't mean an entire pot of coffee, sir. Have you gotten a good night's sleep is what I am asking in the moment. That was a lot of work. That was a long drive. That was a lot of dealing with kids. Just wow. Oh, for fuck's sake.
You hear them in the bedroom.
Get the squeaky ball out of the fucking bedroom and stop leaving stains on the you know what? Not on the live stream. Did you get into a boxing phase? Do you still rage? I did pretty good. I don't know if it's up yet, but this last shit, I did pretty good. The one that I won, I think the kid did not really have the heart to go and try to like throw hands. He wasn't connecting with any legitimate blows. And I was trying to keep myself just out of arm's reach when he was throwing. I even ducked a little bit. No, just a little bit. Probably looked really goofy because I typically am stiff as a board. But the last fight that I had, I knew I was going to lose it because the guy was fucking phenomenal when it came to what he was doing. But he was clearly getting frustrated because I was throwing wonky blows like I do. I keep my blows really wide, and that's not how you're technically supposed to do it. But they were landing with such force that they were starting to make his face go wonky in the game, which is a sign that you're about to get knocked out. And every time he would get close like that, he would start backing up, giving himself time to recuperate so he didn't get knocked the fuck out. I had a fucking blast on that game today. Thrill of the fight too, just fucking great. I do get a little bit stressy and aggressive when the game dynamics aren't working, but I don't like losing because of bad gaming dynamics. I fucking hate that. Me and my brother both share that same anger, that same trigger, if you would. Yes, I do get triggered about some things, clearly, taxes being one of them. But yeah, it was good today. At least I didn't get knocked out by Caillou again. That sickly motherfucker knew how to throw hands in that game. That was ridiculous. Oh my god. All right. He beat my ass like a redheaded stepchild. It was absolutely brutal. All right. Actually, you know what? We'll focus on the other tarantulas. That way we can go and look at Mochi real quick. So this is Charlotte. Charlotte is in less of a stress curl today. She is chilling outside of her domicile. Yes. Yeah. Wolf's playing. Look at this girl. Like I stated before, I find it awfully odd that this critter that is supposed to be a tropical tarantula is responding better to a more arid environment. Now we do go and we will mist the cage lightly, but we let it dry out near the end of the day. And it's around this time, this mid-humid time, that she primarily likes to come out. My right hook in the game is deadly. Dude, that is so awesome. I keep myself at, I think it's like 30-point hits for the most part when it comes to my hooks. But again, I also don't throw them necessarily the way they should be thrown. So the gaming dynamics are working for me in some ways. Oh my God, my jabs today made his face go wonky twice. My jabs. Now, when it comes to... Gosh darn it. All right. So here we go. My hooks in game typically put off, I think it's like a 30, is it 30 pounds of pressure? Do they go off of pounds or what? But it's usually like 30 point something or other up to 40. We'll call it points, like 30 to 40 point punches. But my jabs today in game were actually causing the other player their face to get wonky, which is a sign that you're about to knock them the fuck out in game. So I must have been putting 25 to 30 point punches out with my jabs, which is one of the ways you get past their gloves if their gloves are separated too much. Like if you got them trying to protect themselves more so from the hooks and they're leaving enough of an opening and you can jab at them, oh my God, do so. That's basically what I wanted to say. But that, to me, was a good sign that I am at least progressing in the game, is the fact that my jabs are actually doing some damage to the opposition, and I'm not stuck only producing like 22 points like I used to do, and now it's like if I'm going to lose, it's 3 points away, and the opposition gets 30 points overall. Oh. Okay. There we go. So this is supposed to be a tropical terrestrial tarantula. However, in the recent... Yeah, I try doing that. For the most part, it works pretty well, but I've got to not try to take that step back unless I get a notification that I'm stepping outside of my bounds. At which point, the little fucking warning that they give you blocks your ability to see the enemy, and then you fucking have a real problem because you've got to try to dodge using the fucking force. Which, let me tell you, I'm not a goddamn Jedi. Thank you for that. Thrill of the fight too. Apparently, I've got to be like, there's a fist coming my direction. I better dodge a little bit while I've got this proximity warning going on my mask. Just like, oh yes, I'll just woo, yeah. Now, we are going to miss this cage. We are going to give her a decent amount of humidity. We're not going to soak it like we usually would when we come across a tropical terrestrial tarantula that has this much dry. Yeah, it's not muted anymore.
Okay.
These are not. Yeah, but she's not doing that anymore now that it's drier. Like, she's enjoying her cage more, which is weird because we did used to keep it relatively humid. Oh, no. Well, she's moving like she's healthy. She's not moving like she's in distress, so that's good. We're going to adjust. There we go. Just a spritzing. Boundary area massive.
16 feet 44. Yeah. Well, I wanted a more gentle hook on the meatball.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if she's actually started eating again. That's something that I'm worried about, is that she's not. It is a sign that she might be pre-molt. That is a typical indicator that your tarantula is gearing up for another molt. And it would be due time, but the thing that gets me is she hasn't been gorging herself like Little Bee. It could be that if she is gearing up to molt, it is in response to an injury that I'm just not aware of. She has been known to climb up onto the side of her cage, so she could have fallen and gotten a little bit of an injury whilst in her cage. Not enough to cause any kind of real health concerns, obviously, because she is moving and grooving in an adequate manner, but that is something to keep ourselves aware of, is the fact that she could be somehow injured. It happens, unfortunately. Tarantulas also get sick in captivity, especially when you have other species of arachnids that might get in there and bite them, things like that. Do they get stuck upside down? They can. There are some species that actually get the hooks on their paws stuck in the screen tops, and that can pose a health problem. A lot of the other male Monocentropus balfouri that we had problems having their legs stuck. The one that's in there currently, that male, I swear to God, I'm freaking myself out. See that hat right there? Every time I catch it in the corner of my eye, like it's some sort of movement, it makes me think that whatever specter we have in the house is standing right fucking there, and not the best feeling when your heart goes whoop. They do preen themselves or clean themselves. They are not nasty critters. They keep themselves rather modest, constantly covered, but that's because they have a fur coat. Of course, our male Brazilian blue violet is a little less modest because he decided to throw that fur coat at my face a while ago. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. Hey, Acid! Yes, because of the fucking hat. I'm just like jump scaring myself because the caffeine that I had, which was excessive today, is playing mind games.
I love the amount of herbs that you put in there.
Now let's get these guys taken care of. How much longer do we have on the food?
7.5 minutes.
7.5 minutes. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show Mochi real quick. I'm definitely gonna play more of that game tomorrow. Yeah. There's the one kid whose ass I beat. He was making some rather vulgar hand gestures in game.
So, first of all, Samantha, you know.
He's probably just like I am. Not real happy about losing. Alright, hey baby boy. Can I see you real quick?
In your position.
Hi.
That leaves
That's the Mochi.
2 people.
That's the Mochi baby.
And also defense.
Now this
Person joining
is our leucistic ball python Mochi. Mochi does have some visual impairments. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I am one week. It was this close. I'm really disappointed.
Does your back hurt when you play it? Not really. I don't want to put him around my neck because he's not going to be out for that long. But this is a leucistic ball python. They are, again, relatively speaking, tropical terrestrial. You want to keep their cages hovering around 60% humidity. Look at that. Now, he went and took a duty recently. And he also shed recently. So he is a slender white baby boy. Literally speaking. Look at that. He is so long now. Oh no, he's not greasy. He's just shiny. That's just the way those scales are when they reflect the light. They're actually relatively dry when you handle them. I imagine there are some aquatic species of snakes that are greasy or slimy simply because they might have algae or whatnot on them. But not him. Now these guys typically feed on rodents, but they will eat bird. They will feast upon reptiles if you can manage to get them to pick up on the reptile. Generally, we stick to rats in this household. Hoping to handle this boy out in the sunshine tomorrow. 70 degrees is the temperature that they recommend starting with snakes outside. And while snakes don't necessarily need the extra UV in captivity, getting some of that UV while handling them outside is a good way to make sure that they get all of the extra necessary vitamins. Hey! Dogs. It's kind of got, I wouldn't say rough, we're going to call it textured. The scales do leave a little bit of bumpiness, but it's not abrasive. Um, it's an odd feeling. Primarily, holding a snake is like holding a super long noodle-like muscular structure because they are, generally speaking, super muscular, especially the constrictors. Fun fact, you can actually get your snake morbidly obese. They can get fat rolls. So you've got to make sure that you time their feedings apart. As they get older, it's a little bit easier for them to build up the fat storage, and it's still energy storage, but it's not something that they can convert into heat or use to keep themselves warm. You mentioned bird. Do they sell birds to be eaten? Like, is it in the world of snakes? Was free. They sell quail. You can feed them baby chicks, like chickens.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Ducks. What is it you've got? You're not in super trouble, but you need to not chew on paper.
More like tear up.
Oh, he's messing with my watch. Oh, it's 11:30. Well, thank you for staying up for us. We do appreciate it. Yeah, he's trying to handcuff me. He's got such beautiful blue eyes. I don't know if you guys can see it. Nope. Yeah. Do you want to double back and just be on my one hand so that I can get the camera ready? Now, always remember, after you handle your snakes, to... I'm going to try to zoom it in. Look at that. Beautiful. He might be a little bit disoriented from that, but he also does have visual impairments, so maybe not too disoriented. Look at that. All right, let's put him back. And then once it's time to eat dinner, we'll go wash our hands. I have a feeling that taking it out of the oven is going to be soon. There you go, baby.
Are you gonna go wash your hands right now?
Is the food being taken out right now?
It can be.
Do you want me to take it out? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Snake is definitely chunky. We feed him every 2 weeks so that he does not get too chunky. Yes, that is also another fact when he'll eat. Sometimes ball pythons go on hunger strikes. 'Tis the way it works. So, what? I'm gonna take it out.
Next time.
Okay, I'll go. It smells delightful. Oh, honey, did you eat a banana? Somebody else did. Bananas.
So, it all comes down to these 3 filet mignons. We're going to begin with the well done. How long was it, Pat?
Each side around 5 minutes. And then let it rest.
Your future competition depends on the the temperature of these three steaks. This well-done steak could be worth $250,000. What is it gonna look like inside?
It's supposed to look like a little pink.
Let's see.
Okay,
Oh, this
So-
well-done steak
while that's going on,
look like inside.
It's supposed to look like a little pink.
he is definitely neurodivergent. It's more bigger than the rats. They are, but depending on the size of the snake, it might be better. You also don't want to make quail and other birds. What is that called? There's foods that you temporarily feed your animal, and then there's foods that are, what is that called?
I'm confident I can about
You don't want to make them constant. They need to be in every other, once in a blue moon feeding, but you can feed them to your animals. Wait, who are you calling neurodivergent, and what the fuck does that mean? Yeah, something like that. Just a once in a while thing. Here we go. So this
Excuse me.
is our Harpictira pulchripes male.
I like my steak medium.
He is full grown. He loves his little environment that we have for him. Every once in a while, he'll come out. There was one time we got him out of his den for a full week. So that was pretty cool. And there's the mochi. Cheat meal, yep. Now, we haven't fed our animals said cheat meal. We haven't. We typically stick to mice and rats as we're raising them. What I need to do is, now that it's warming up on the weekends, I need to start taking them out and letting them roam around a little bit. I used to take little guy, our adult male ball python, over to McCormick Park. And there was one time he freaking disappeared into the water, and I freaked out, and then he popped up and swam to shore. That was freaking cool. That was midsummer. I would carry him around in the backpack. It was great. People would freak out. So this is Gem. Gem is a Brazilian blue violet male. He is the one that has a history of escaping, and is the one that threw all of his urticating hairs, or most of them, at my face. Not nice. For those that don't know, urticating hairs are a defensive mechanism that the New World tarantulas, or the America's tarantulas, as one might say, evolved into having. They formed over the years. What they do is they kick the abdomen hairs off of their booty. Those are meant to go and get into your sinuses and or airways and cause immediate respiratory issues. Now, for the most part, when it comes to owning them, you primarily get them everywhere else. I've had urticating hairs across my chest. I've had them on the backs and fronts of my arms. I've had them on my neck. Never really got them too much on my face. Thank God. Because technically speaking, I am an asthmatic. So having a serious reaction to urticating hairs, for me, might put me in the hospital. And again, getting a bite from the centipede might also put me in the hospital, because the centipede. Can you feel the hairs? Yeah, when you're petting them, yes. When the hairs are landing on you, not really. You can see them more so than you can feel them, because what will happen is, once the hairs disperse everywhere, kind of makes a cloud appear. Okay. And that cloud basically tells you that you're in for a very itchy situation. It feels like fiberglass on your skin, like the fiberglass insulation, that itchy sensation. Yeah, it's a lot like that. Back when I had originally gotten COVID, I thought that the COVID was actually the urticating hairs actually finally hitting me in my sinuses, and then I did the at-home test, and it's like, oh, you have the COVID, and I was like, fuck. It is a really good bad irritation. It's effective up in your sinuses apparently. However, the effects when it just lands on your skin aren't immediate. As a matter of fact, it takes like 30 minutes for you to really start realizing, oh dear God, itching powder. What the fuck? What is going on? Holy shit, the tarantula got me? I didn't see it kick its urticating hairs. Fun fact about that. If you're going to go and clean out a tarantula's enclosure, understand that a lot of the New World tarantulas will go and they will literally put loose urticating hairs on the webbing for their environment, like in their dens, what have you. This is supposed to deter the smaller possible predators from going into their enclosure because they will get a dose of urticating hairs as they're traveling through. When you're cleaning out the cage, that shit might, what would you call it, aerosolize, might get dispensed into the atmosphere, and you won't realize it until you're an itchy bitch. Yeah, good times, fun stuff. You go to keep your animal's environment clean, and good Lord Almighty, you will regret that. Whew. Now we're gonna go, I don't know if we already have, check on this little guy. Probably not gonna spritz his cage. This is another Brazilian blue violet tarantula. Check on him, rewash our hands, sit down, eat some food, and then we will end the night, of course, taking care of roaches. Diffuse, that's the proper grammar for it. I will try to remember. By the way, that is a good rhyming word. If you go and you practice rhyming words with like amuse, accuse, refuse, diffuse, ensues. Look at that. This is our other Brazilian blue violet. Blue is his name. I know. Super creative of me. Now, his cage is still looking very humid. We're not going to go and boost the humidity again until it's just a little bit drier due to the fact that we don't want to grow mold, because mold can make your tarantulas sick due to the fact that it will clog up their book lungs. Not good. No taking the dogs outside tonight. Gonna go get some food. We lost out on the opportunity to do that when we had to sit in the tax office for 2 hours. Yeah. So, I am going to go move this little character this way. Then we'll go and get the camera set up over where we're going to be eating. And cruise. Dues is another one. Oh! I want you guys to look at me. Not ahead of me, at me, gosh darn it. Alright, here we go. We're going to go. Go get some food. Eat on camera like a bunch of weirdos. Because that's the way, we like it. she say that last year we owed like $3,000 or something like that? She'd go to the freaking state and be like, okay, put it on our tab. Yeah, garbage bag? Hey, kids, move up. Get the French out of here.
It's slippery for yours.
Camera should be facing towards the top.
Wow, Gio.
3 culinary legends. Jonathan Waxman, Danielle Bowie, and I'm lucky enough to call her mom, Lydia Bastianes. Take over the competition.
Do not overcook your proteins.
Lydia Bastianes, my dishes better be absolutely perfect.
The home cook
What?
fight for a spot in the final 3 and
Oh,
a chance to become America's next.
Trust me, there is quite a bit of pepper. Wolf, move. Oh. We are having frozen, thawed, reheated, whatever you want to call it,
frozen cooked.
frozen cooked. Chicken Alfredo.
Homemade tastes better, but this was easy and didn't cost that much.
And it was definitely a day where easy was best.
Tomorrow's dinner's gonna be easier.
Yeah, tomorrow we are getting Thai food again. That shit's my favorite.
Still not sick of it?
Of course I'm not sick of it. Thai food is the bomb, especially when it's super spicy. Not a fan of the effect the next day, as you guys know. By the way, I still got to go back on that. Was it last night's YouTube? Sova was white originally.
If your team of 2 wins this challenge, your team will be moving straight to the MasterChef finale. Lose this team challenge, and you'll be going
By the way, if you are ever in Columbia County,
spot in that finale.
Lotus of Bangkok.
Caesar,
That fucking food is great.
Especially their dessert. Right?
Mm.
you will decide.
I don't know if we can, I don't know how much it is, so I don't know if we can afford it tomorrow.
Okay.
Go stand outside.
We'll see.
Homemade pizza tomorrow. I knew somebody that baked, like not baked, yeah, basically baked their pizza on a barbecue.
I've done it where the way to go.
I wanted to be partners with Caesar because my Caribbean vibe and Caesar Mexican flavors can really be a beautiful symphony of flavors.
This is a big moment for you, but it's an even bigger us. Because
After that, I can't believe you guys heard all of that.
Did you go back and listen to it?
No, I
It
did
is
not.
very clear. Like you're right. You can even hear the noises you made.
Your mentors.
Oh dear God!
This chef has entirely changed the landscape of food as one of the pioneers of California cuisine. Please welcome my mentor, Jonathan Waxman.
Oh my God!
He is mentoring not only myself, but countless chefs. So this is such a treat for us. Thank you, Chef Yu. My mentor taught me everything I know. She is a hugely successful restaurateur.
Are you good?
When TV host, most
I'll see.
people call her boss. I'm lucky enough.
That was not me this time.
Please welcome my mom, Lydia Bastiani.
And I didn't expect all of the sound effects. What can I say except you're welcome
Then after that, we'll get your Duchess.
for the demon in my ass?
Pleased to meet them. Congratulations on the journey up to here.
Yeah, jawline is finally coming in. Just don't have me shave my facial hair.
No pressure, home cooks.
It's probably the jerky.
Right?
Chewing.
Probably is. My wife makes some bomb diggity jerky.
So these guys are like,
You don't have very much for this week.
you got to make
Nope.
You thought that
But-
he was self-impressed.
We can go to cash and carry after my doctor's appointment on
And tonight,
Wednesday?
Monday.
the judging and the
Not Monday, Friday.
will be
I still need to go and watch it. I swear to God, I am going to screen record it from the second.
move. Thank you.
I don't care if it's going to wind up like a 30-minute video.
Oh,
From the second I start
Okay.
moving back to the house,
You must be wondering
talking about it.
exactly you are.
Mimi, how are your earbuds doing?
So tonight, you will all be making whatever dish you like. You will have access to the fully stocked.
Or a bowl cut.
You will
I
have
still remember the time
to make
that my brother,
identical plates.
my Sasquatch of a brother,
You need to be both
got super excited as a kid about getting a bowl cut.
Really?
And he kept begging my mom and begging my mom for a bowl cut. So that's what she gave him and sent him to school with a bowl cut.
How do you react?
You know, like he had a bowl cut by the end of the day.
We need to find some type of food.
What's happening? He's fighting demons, man. He's fighting demons and they're winning.
Give me some. Let's get it.
one or two.
Just grab a handful.
You got your peppers and everything?
Let's go, Ash.
Let's go. Let's go.
Honest to God, there was so much pressure built up. I'm surprised I didn't blow out my O-ring.
I got lamb here.
Honey, call 911.
Brian, let's get started right now.
We have to wait because I don't want to go against you, all right?
So, Lydia, Danielle, these two teams have to make 3 identical dishes. What are we looking for here?
We like, first of all, the presentation from the beautiful.
My glaze is looking good.
Let me try to now. And of course, the harmony of the different.
An example of one of our mentors, please.
Me sitting there. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right, you got your pants down before that happened.
I'm getting the spices.
Without panicking, you were.
They need to talk to each other.
You just really gotta pick up the pace. You have those pants.
I honestly thought,
Right now, taste with each other.
oh yeah, Durs.
In the kitchen really is underestimated.
You looking good?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we would have to throw those pants out, not simply because they instantly became brown pants, but because I would have blown a hole
Okay, yeah.
through the
You
fabric.
just gotta get inside out and dry.
It's okay, Sam.
You've got to.
Just don't panic.
Isn't this lovely dinner conversation?
Speed us along.
Samantha has proved time and time again that she crumbles under.
Like what happened should not happen to a person, ever.
At least a person on mine.
I'm getting a little shaky, so.
We ain't got time for that.
Okay, sorry.
We got this.
Almost,
Ow.
almost destroyed the continuum there, guys. It would have been the death of all realities. That's really what's been taking out the Marvel and DC universes. Oh yeah.
All right.
Just me sitting on the toilet trying to keep shit together.
Even Deadpool will be impressed.
Ow.
Okay? Do it, do it. What happened?
I hit my knee.
Good.
I'm good. I'm moving a bit slow now.
Let me review what I've done, okay? So you can see where we're at. Spice rub is done.
Freaking
Working.
the real reason why the aliens are coming to Earth is because they keep fucking picking up that shit on whatever devices they've got.
Salt and pepper on the lamp. Guys,
I think that just got the shortest walk. Didn't it happen with Oliver though?
We have
Duchess was impatiently whining in the background.
with some Swiss chard, crispy
Yeah, no, Oliver,
and then
time wise, Oliver definitely got the shortest walk. And we definitely did not have the time.
We're gonna balance that out with
No, yeah, she's right. Wolf got, technically speaking, the shortest
He's like,
WALK. Alright. But let's be honest here. I ran the best that I could with Oliver on the lead. With that neck thick device on around my neck. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
don't worry about it. It's good. We tasted it, you know.
Hi guys.
Hey, how you doing? You guys my last.
Duchess was definitely a little bit
Oh, he teaches
unhappy with how short the walk was, so.
She looked confused when he started heading
Oh
home.
my god. These all can be my grandchildren.
What's your strategy?
Hopefully I'll get more time tomorrow. I'll try to game earlier, and then once I go and help pack things up at the bazaar, we will go and take them.
I don't get it.
That's rather sweet. So, you know what I would say? You want
We need to, amongst the things that you need to make with your resin, cuss word keychains. Because the next good poem that I wrote for her to use hops back between the good shit that you typically give people, like the really good gifts, and cuss word keychains that you can give to people that you hate. Or like, but yeah.
can really see the teamwork of both of them.
Bench the cheeks.
Alright, I just need to do two more.
There was too,
Nothing can be tricky.
I mean, they go both ways. They can go crunchy or they can go soft.
it's too much pressure, Captain.
These are national.
We don't have enough powder.
I hope it's winning.
Oh my god.
It's a toss up. It's really good.
The question with the pork is hit temperature.
How was it, Gio?
Sometimes chocolate, you know, cook it just a little bit.
And Samantha and Jerome, how are they progressing?
Very good. I feel that Jerome is quite good with the meat.
All right, Samantha, right now I am brushing olive oil on the bones.
The racolin looks great. The question now is whether he can put enough flavoring
Doing a little spicy without glaze.
for a glaze. What do you think? I have
Very blocked.
Let's see what they're gonna do.
Our lamb is resting.
Okay,
Less than 15 minutes left.
hard chef. I need a knife, a clean knife. Caesar, can you pass me your knife?
Oh no. Did they ruin it?
Caesar.
Seems to be a recurring theme.
Come on. Okay, Ashley.
What do you need me to do, John?
Go ahead and start the Swiss chard. I need to check this ratatouille out.
Was it the lore?
It looks pretty good.
It's Minecraft. How could it be the lore?
Good.
So, Ashley, how are you going to both impart your particular style on this dish?
Even though we both love pork, I wanted Miami and his Mexican influence to be highlighted together seamlessly on a plate.
Beautiful. What are you responsible for?
I'm doing a different spin on a toscane, so I'm doing very thinly sliced plantains, and they're going to
Did they expect it to be? You know how ridiculous it would be to make that like an anime or a cartoon? You might as well just play the game, and then while you play the game,
for a different starch and the green.
add the commentary to it,
Thank you very much.
so you have general discussion throughout the game. Like, what do they want?
Thank you.
It was either just go play the game or make a live action version of the movie.
I'm getting nervous.
Now, if there is a movie to get pissed off about,
How is it, Jerome?
it's that Snow White movie.
That's perfect.
Yeah. That's
90 seconds to go, guys.
Come on, John. I'm ready for that knife.
Stop fucking with Disney movies. If you want to go and make a spin-off of your own,
Big presentation, guys.
Careful.
then do so like they did with the Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
30 seconds remaining.
Get some salt. Get some salt. Finish him.
Take an inventory of your ingredients.
Come, we have everything.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up, hands in the air. Well done.
Yeah, it's the only good remake that I have seen thus far of Disney movies that are live action. I don't care what the Christian community thinks.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast was phenomenal. I would shake every cast member's hand on that movie. Because it was, I don't even care. Gaston, I'll shake that motherfucker's hand too.
Corn mango salsa.
Every last guy, every last person that was in that movie. Phenomenal job.
And yet not overly done. Thank you very much.
Is there any water left?
No, honey. But I can get you some.
So, where did the dish come from? You guys were collaborative.
Like, now I want to go and watch that again.
Culmination of all of our challenges here.
What I want to see
So that we really presented our culture
is,
in a
and this is going to be a chick flick idea,
way.
they want to take it a different direction. They can, rather than focusing on the princess's storyline.
The meat itself was a little bit fatty.
I have a dog hair in my mouth.
Look at the marble.
It'll come back around. What they need to focus on is a love story. I think, and I could have been reading the room wrong, but between Belle's father, who is technically single as Bringle, and the witch in the story.
Brian had champagne
Like, a love dynamic there would have been hilarious. Because he is a scientist. You know, he is a man of the learned, if you would, and she is a sorceress. So they could practically Dharma and Greg that shit to some extent, and that would work out beautifully. Like him constantly asking, now how does that work? Because magic is like an effective cure without the science behind it. Ooh, okay, so what do you think about the old World War II movies? Well, not old. They were...
What Gio said?
Yep, neurodivergent. What does neurodivergent mean? Are you gonna look it up?
Approach this challenge.
We've been underestimated as far as like they say Samantha does pasta all the time.
And actually, Jungle Book, I could take it or leave it. An accurate war movie. I like Band of Brothers was a good series to me. Saving Private Ryan was pretty good. I don't know how accurate that was. Pearl Harbor, I hear, definitely had its problems when it came to accuracy, but was overall a good cinematic piece. I saw the Chris Kyle movie. That was, to me, as somebody that has never actually been in a situation like that, it was a good movie. The way it turned out for that individual was, is it Chris Kyle? The sniper that got killed here stateside. Might be getting the name wrong. Midway?
You guys really are on a level on both sides.
I'm fascinated here.
I did not want to watch the remake of The Little Mermaid. I still haven't seen that. Come.
Either, and I don't plan on it.
What the fuck, guys?
I'm really eager to find out who you are. I know that most people I feel like Eden are truly
All Quiet on the Western Front. I don't even know if I've heard of that one. What?
The Band of Brothers, was that the one with George Clooney?
I don't know. Band of Brothers, I thought was a TV series that they created.
Maybe I'm probably wrong.
Well, we've been saying it all night. An incredible job.
Unfortunately, only one team can guarantee their spot in the final of MasterChef.
And that team is, congratulations.
Unfortunately, only one team can guarantee their spot in the final of MasterChef.
And that team is,
The sounds and explosions were wrong.
Caesar and Ashley.
That's disheartening. I really like that show.
I was way off. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh my god. Oh, it wasn't. That's not even military.
That's why I said I was.
Are you fucking kidding me? I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble in my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky. That's where I was born and raised. Come on!
So happy for Caesar and Ashley to make it to the finale, and I just really hope that I can
It's been a long time since I.
By the way, had they actually gone and started their own band based on that music, I would have fucking bought that shit. Because that was crazy good.
We gotta go ahead and stand the competition, so I am extremely nervous.
Now what are you doing?
Samantha is a great chef and a good banker. And Dexter is a living crap.
I'm getting ready for the roaches, and then we'll be done for the night.
Did you already do a scorpion?
Oh, I didn't do the scorpion. No, I'm not too worried about this little critter. Because... Oh, fuck. This environment. Oh my god. Child, you are not arboreal.
I want you to replicate.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is extremely technical.
Looks like a fucking nutsack hanging there. Really?
Impeccable time. It is.
Oh look, he actually went and dug his own little trench. Because I moved it the wrong way. So this is our Asian forest scorpion. This little critter is another tropical terrestrial invertebrate in our collection. Fucking stop! You're gonna get handled one of these days, and you're not gonna fucking like it.
Who's that?
When taking care of these scorpions, you want to make sure that they have plenty of dirt to play with in case they get a wild hair up their ass and decide to burrow. You want to make sure that they have plenty of water to drink. And you want to make sure that you've got your black light on hand
I got eyes.
for this. This is biofluorescence. This occurs when a chemical reaction takes place within the exoskeleton of the scorpion, where the chemical in question actually absorbs the UV light and converts it into a light spectrum that we can more easily see, making them incredibly easy to point out at night. Now, of course, keep in mind, folks, as I've said in the past, about within 3 days of the last molt, they're not going to be able to show up very well because the chemical needs to set in along with the hardening exoskeleton. How often do you have to change the black light? Not too often. We don't have a problem with changing the black light, but we have a problem with losing the black light. Yeah. Good times. Scorpions, especially the Asian forest scorpions, tend to be a little bit of a...
You know how much better that pie would be if it had a graham cracker crust?
Yes, I do, actually. I was thinking that earlier.
I never make a...
Scorpions are kind of pet holes. They don't come out as often as, let's say, tarantulas, but when they do come out, it can be pretty crazy. For instance, the last time this little guy came out willingly, or girl, it ate cricket live on camera. Paint the black light safety orange. Why?
So it's easier to see?
Oh, God.
You still wouldn't be able to find it.
Yeah, no, I still wouldn't be able to find it. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. That's not gonna work. Let's go take care of these orange head roaches first, and then the dubias, and then we will call it a night. Ouch.
I'm definitely worried about that.
Come on, thumb, knock this shit off. God, that is so obnoxious. It is truly pissing me off. I cannot exist in this world without my fucking body deciding it's gonna hurt for no fucked off reason. So tired of it.
So halfway through to this point, speaking of including should be already established, right? Should go 350 for 30 minutes. You must have wanted it to be in there. You should have that all under control. 45 minutes remaining. Got to multitask. I think my time at 28 minutes.
We haven't promoted Critter Cult tonight. Well, have you shared the live, folks? All right, here we go.
In the beginning of the competition, we had some wiggle room for mistakes, but right now, being literally one step away from the finale. There's no room for error. I'm afraid to Samantha right now.
Now.
Well done. 30 minutes remaining. Get your pans hot. Start cooking up risotto.
You are a female. There you go.
Three difficult dishes. Skills and their technique. Now, it also takes 20 to 24 minutes to cook, and there's no negotiating that.
You are a female.
Without exploring
Go on. Oh, look at that. Pretty sure that's a female. Yep. No white dot on the abdomen. Now these are orange-head roaches. We have been successfully separating the males and the females for quite some time. And it might not seem like it, but we have slowed the progression of their reproduction. And truth be told, I think we now have fewer females than we do males, which to me is a sign that we are getting ahead of it. At some point, there's going to be a massive decline in the population because of it. It is a long-term solution that we have been working on. Every time we see a male, we separate it from the females. There we go. Yeah. I'm still recovering from state. Yeah, I don't blame you. Durs has, I'm not going to get into it too much, but he has a hard time sleeping. So I can completely understand why he might not be doing a lot of the stuff that he normally does. You can only be so much of a badass before you need to actually take a really good long sleep. And I hope that Durs can do that without enduring too much.
That was the toughest 90 minutes of my entire life. Especially because I've never cooked risotto before. But my risotto is beautiful. I do not know how I pulled this together. I think I may have a slight advantage on this one. Samantha, how was the cooking the rice? How was the process?
I did not get the pastry right on the plate, but I think the flavor of the risotto and the texture of the dough is there.
You're on? How you do?
I think I did pretty well. The texture is just right. Got the cream in, the butter, the Parmesan cheese, everything is there. The rice is nice.
I am so proud of you and your ROTC minions for doing so well. Fantastic job. I wish it were on video. That would be so cool to watch.
I just eyeballed it, but I don't think that you really need a set measurement of how much you put for
Overall, two exceptional results. But I think there's one extra throw to do. Nothing incorrect about either of them. One is cleaner.
Come on.
Okay, let's get the main course. Please, both of you, give us your entree.
I'm really nervous because I hardly ever cook, but I don't think I'm cook. It looks beautifully done, so it's gonna be a close one, but I really think I got thrown in.
Try to get through that salmon entree from your cold.
I feel like I got the salmon on at the perfect time. I got the basmati puree on it, but just ran out of time.
Samantha, how was the cook on the salmon?
I feel the cook on the salmon is good. I'm glad I got the vinegar on there, but I am disappointed that it only got the beans on it.
I finished the salmon sand. What should I see when I open that up and expose it?
Which is good with me.
I'm gonna say right now, this salmon could be worth $250,000.
Absolutely.
You guys both did admirable job cooking a very sticky fish, but I think I like one more than the other.
What's going on?
Telling Oliver no.
What did he do?
Bring it down, because
I think he was bagging.
Got to make sure that when you are keeping feeder roaches, that you keep the sides of the cage nice and smooth, with very few rough patches from the critters trying to climb, because they can climb up the rough patches. So smooth walls are definitely a must.
The caramel is set on top.
It's called no 5 mile runs for the rest of the month. Looks tasty. Oh yeah, these will definitely fill you up. These are orange head roaches. They are a feeder species. I recommend that if you're going to use them for your animals and feed juvenile roaches to your animals, the adults have a defense mechanism. It makes them stinky.
let's get to your show here, man. Yes, chef. John. Yes, chef. How much gelatin did you put in that?
Go. These are the males.
Two exact recipes executed differently.
Damn it.
There's one I do prefer.
I made many mistakes within that 90 minutes, but I bounced back from those mistakes. As a teacher, I teach my kids all the time. It's not the mistakes you make, but it's what you learn from those mistakes. And I'm hoping that me bouncing back from these mistakes is enough to get you to the finale.
Oh, man. Two great stories. I think it's right. I want you to have to put that back much more,
Okay. Green bottle blue needs to have an eye kept on her. She's still having trouble bouncing back from her last molt, so.
There's a place in the grand finale at stake. It's why we had such a difficult challenge. But both of you, your mentalists,
No 5 mile runs for the rest. Say what?
across all three dishes.
I understand going on 5 mile walks, but 5 mile runs, that's crazy work.
Different takes on risotto.
Is it uphill? Both ways? Asking where I eventually need to wind up when it comes to my workout routine.
Was cooked by Jerome. Which entree did you prefer?
Both salmon, well, but one of these salmon I felt had
Alright,
crispier skin,
now
seasoned more,
let's go and get
and more that
the
iconic pink persimmon color interior. So the home cook with the best salmon.
That's why we do 5 miles. I think it's probably creepier when they're very still. Alright, so these are our doobie roaches. It looks like they didn't eat their food, so now there's some mold in their cage. You little shit. Move, Duchess! That is one of my biggest pet peeves. You see I'm walking your way and you decide you're gonna stand right the fuck there and be a problem. Yeah, we got plenty of those hill. Duchess! Move! 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 That's a spoon, you little turd. Okay. Now, the cage is still looking pretty moist. Duchess, get out of here. Go on. There we go. Their water's still looking good. Why do I need to move? Yeah, that's pretty much right. The answer's pretty straightforward. Now I did move the log inside the Green Bottle Blue cage. Hopefully she has an easier time getting out now. She was looking a little bit discombobulated, like she's still recovering from the mold. I'm going to keep an eye on her, make sure that it's nothing too severe. I'm a little bit concerned. She could just be sleeping and just have low blood pressure because her body is bouncing back, which would cause her legs to seem a little bit more, well, not the way they should be, but I would hate to lose her. Of course, you guys have a good night. You want to see the woofers? You want to see the woofers in our messy living room?
Duchess.
The woofers. Hey, baby. Can we get an ow? Wolfie, come here. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You did not jump up. Yeah, hey, no. Get your nose away from there. Can we? Yeah, oh. Duchess! Oh, God. She's like, me. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. And remember, I better not see you on the news unless it's good news.